Okay, so what we're going to talk about today?
This has come from a discussion we were just having, and it's something that has been relevant to me and my community for a while. We just started throwing a few ideas about it, and we thought, let's just get this down, because we haven't done a video together in absolutely ages.
A long time. It's been quite a while.
And it was stuff that I took a lot of value from, and I'm hoping my community will take a bit of value from it as well. But I think it's relevant to everybody. And this was all about, is this basically self-talk? Do you think this kind of is part of it?
Yeah, totally is.
And what it was, it just dawned on me, because I'm, inherently I'm a creator. I'm like, that's what is in my heart, like science, maths, hate it, creating. And I just noticed, like, what you're doing.
Go.
4. Good. So, and I was thinking, like, I've noticed a lot of commonalities amongst the group of people that I hang out with, work with, commission me, or whatever. And a lot of the time it's musicians, so let's just call them creatives.
Okay, yeah.
And there seems to be this underlying reluctance to put yourself out there creatively,
sure,
and communicate and share what you do, in fear of. And I'm going to use an exact quote from one of my favourite singers who I've worked with many, many times. I'm not going to mention her name, but what she said to me once, I've heard so many times. It's just, I don't want to overdo it. Okay. Now, when she says overdo it, I don't mean over tweet, over Instagram. Just put anything out there. Like, consider how amazing her voice is. You wouldn't know it because she just very rarely shares stuff out there. But for her to say, I don't want to overdo it. Do you think you can overdo it as an artist? Can you?
No.
Especially not now.
I think the thing is there's so many people that try to just kind of glide along under the radar in the hope that by doing that they're not going to get any haters, they're not going to get any criticism, and they hope that they're still going to be able to get the attention that they require to sell art, whatever it is.
They hope to get the
attention.
How?
Without getting the attention. And I think that a lot of the problem is that it's this memory bank that we have, which is the brainstem. It's a part of your brain that's 2 million years old, and it doesn't want to get eaten. It's a lizard. I think Seth Godin, I think it is. He's got a book called, I forget what it's called, but in the book he talks about the lizard brain. And I think that this is what actually happens for a lot of us. It's looking for problems, and it's trying to protect us. And by overexposing yourself, you obviously, go back 2 million years, you'd have been eaten. A dinosaur would come along, you'd have been lunch. And so we're subconsciously, without us being aware of this reactor's switching, and it's keeping us safe. So it's like, I want to float along under the radar. I don't want to get too much attention, because back in the day, I'd have been eaten. And that's no different now, especially now where we've got so many channels to distribute content, and there's a lot of people, there's not nice people online. Some people are keyboard warriors, and they'll tear into you. But I think that what we need to understand is that you need to start embracing that. The criticism is good. It's good, and it's not always what you want to hear. And sometimes people do it just to be mean, but that's just people. But at the same time, take from that criticism whatever you can. I used to get so much criticism about my writing because I'm not very good at grammar, and I don't profess to be a great.
However, thanks to Grammarly.com, who sponsored this.
Thanks to Grammarly, that's changed.
True story, by the way. I'm not being facetious. When he discovered, I remember. So Johnny and I have known each other for well over a decade, and I love the guy. He's one of my besties, but his spelling's shit. Now,
it's not spelling. It's not
That's
spelling.
Grammar,
it's
punctuation.
Commas more than anything else. I don't know where they go. I just
so he just doesn't bother with it.
I just don't bother with it. So I do it like I speak.
But and this is a God's honest truth. About a year ago, I said to you, Johnny, by the way, what's happened? And you said, what do you mean? You're just starting to write like a proper human being, and you were like, grammar. We digress.
Absolutely.
We digress.
But it's so true, and so although the criticism that I used to get about the grammar didn't make me feel very nice, and it's so easy for us to then stop doing the stuff that got that attention to start with, what I decided to do was to embrace it and think, well, do you know what? I don't necessarily always agree with what's being said, but I'm not an expert in this. People are finding issues with it. How can I get better? And as a result, it got better. And will I ever be an author? Who knows? I don't think authors write their own books anymore, so it doesn't make a difference. But it's improved.
This is we're kind of going off topic a little bit, but actually now we've touched on this, I want to add my 2 cents worth with regards to. I don't even like the term negative feedback, so I just think feedback is feedback regardless. Feedback. I genuinely believe that, and in fact, there's a video on my YouTube called "How CK Handles Negative Feedback," and this is why one of my a guy that discovers me, he lives in LA, he discovers my content, and he's really into it. He really likes it. AJ, thank you so much for supporting all the stuff. And one video I put out was like, basically CK no. It's like CK just no.
Change, don't like
pretty
it.
much.
Yeah.
And I remember when he sent me that, and he kind of sent me on Instagram and said, CK, I've always supported everything you do, but this video, I'm not feeling it. And you know when I got that, and I know I'm wired differently to most people, to be fair, so not most people will have this same emotional response. The minute he sent that, I was like, wow, I loved it.
Yeah,
so the fact someone is so emotionally invested in my content to actually tell me when he thinks, shit, like, I genuinely adored it.
And that's the problem, you see, is that most people's not wired that way. Most people, when they get criticised, will stop doing the things that got them the attention to start.
By the way, look, I'm not a robot. Like it wasn't like an immediate yes.
Stings.
It was correct. It stings, but then you need to just stand back and think, hang on, what's actually just happened here?
Embrace it. Can I learn from this? Can I get better? Do you know? Are they actually telling me some truth in that evilness that it appears to be? Because you do need the criticism to move forward, and I think that a lot of the time that's why we slope away under the radar, because we don't want to get that criticism.
But thanks. But equally on that point, and again, we did plan to go down the whole route of criticism, but actually that now we're on it. This is another little, call it a tip. This is something I discovered. Some people kind of found me in the last 2 years, but I've been thinking about it for like God knows how long. And one of the earliest things I discovered is that when someone, a keyboard warrior, says something just because they want to piss you off, right? It's just because they want to have a go. Like one thing I discovered, if you just go, I used to just go, do you know what, mate, you've got a point. Like once someone said, that's shit, you're a dick. And I just went, thinking about it, I am quite a dick, aren't I? Like, I remember doing that once to this guy, and he went, oh. It's like, oh, I feel a bit guilty now. And then he started following my content. Yeah. So like, you can turn haters into lovers just by actually
it's just a process.
Engaging.
It's a process. But the thing is,
it's happened many times since.
The haters, you want the haters. You do want haters. Like, they don't feel nice, but you do need the haters because they fuel your product, they fuel your brand, they fuel whatever it is that you're doing, because they talk about you all the time. And the thing is, what you got to look at is a hater. Let's strip it away. A hater's not really hating on you. They're hating on themselves because you are doing the things that they want to do, but they haven't got
the audacity to do it.
The gumption's not there, or the drive, or the grit, or whatever it may be. It's not there for them to do it. So it's so much easier for them to feel, you know, some hate towards you because you're doing the very thing that they wish they could do. Which they could do. It's available for everybody. It's not exclusive just to you, to me, to anybody. We've all got the same, you know, opportunities. It's just that you've got to take it. You've got to go for it. You've got to push it.
Right, moving back to the original thread. Yeah. So one of the things I was saying to Johnny, and this is something just to put context. I work with a lot of emerging, bright musicians, singer-songwriters, bands, etc. And one of the things I've noticed often is if something really cool has happened at the stage that they're at, and it's something that they really are excited about sharing. Let's just, for argument's sake, someone's been nominated for, argument's sake, Best New Country Artist UK. Yep. So what I've noticed is they'll put in a tweet or a Facebook post or an Instagram post, they'll put that, oh wow, look what's just happened, but then they'll almost temper it by suggesting, I don't know if I deserve this, why, I don't believe, probably not going to
why is this me? Yeah.
They'll always temper it with something almost to suggest, I don't deserve it. I'm not ready, I don't deserve it. And I'm just wondering why. And by the way, this is something that until I realised, so I saw it happening all the time, I thought, actually you do that. And then I realised there's no reason to do that, other than because I want to ask you why that reason is. I just stopped doing it. Why do people do that?
Lots of reasons. First one, the very first thing that you've got to ask is the thing that they're sharing, is it true? Do you know, have they really been nominated for that award? Do you know, because it might be them just sharing something that sounds good to them. Do you know, it's an opportunity that could potentially happen. It's not real. It's because people lie, let's face it, people don't always tell the truth. That's just the way it is.
Right, but just on that point, I get that happens, but let's just assume I don't hang around with knobheads, and they all actually have been nominated for X, Y, and Z.
So the second thing is the no situation. You know, is it real? Is it real? And what I mean by is that real is have they really been nominated or have they nominated themselves? Because do you know it's very difficult to be proud of something when it's not true, and it's that ego what gets in the way. So you feel uncomfortable sharing something that's not entirely true. Yes, they have been nominated, but what they're not telling you is actually it's me who nominated myself. Now that's cool. If you want to nominate yourself, do it. You know, by all means, do it. But I think that would help to explain why some people would feel more reluctant or would put a little tag on it, a little catch on it, saying, "Well, I don't know."
Because they don't feel 100% authentic.
They don't feel 100% authentic. Yeah. Now that could happen. It might not be the case.
That makes sense in certain instances. And by the way, we're just exploring this as a broader concept. We're not saying that I just hang around with charlatans. Well, actually,
you never know.
But no, that's fair.
But then another side of it is again, it could be that they're fearful of that exposure, just like we were talking about. You know, the 2 million year old brainstem that's, you know, the lizard brain that's wanting to keep you safe is holding you back from doing something that's going to overexpose you. Because again, if you are overexposed, then you become more accessible to the haters and the criticism and the dinosaurs 2 million years ago. And so there's a lot of things there what potentially could hold people back or make them feel uncomfortable saying that, you know, I'm really proud of what I've achieved here. You know, I've been nominated, this is fantastic, look at this. And it removes the need to almost, it's like they're almost validating it themselves.
I guess this comes back to one of our earlier videos when we were talking about actually people very seldom fear of failure, and people are rarely scared of failure, they're scared of success, and I suppose this is what we're talking about here. We're touching on that again.
It is totally. And I think that there's this is the thing you see is that when you start to understand more about yourself, everything else becomes more clear as well. And the danger of starting to have more self-awareness, because this is what we're talking about here, it's having a bit of self-awareness. I think that the danger of being more self-aware can also open you up to more obstacles that's going to stop you going forward, because you become more aware that people might criticise or people might hate on you or people might disagree. And I think that that's the thing, is what holds a lot of people back. I've been guilty of this before, you've been guilty of this. You know, I've got a business partner who's going through this exact process right now where she's a little bit fearful of what if somebody disagrees with the stuff that she's sharing online, what if they hate on that stuff, or, you know, we all go through this. But the thing is, some people have better blocking mechanisms to be able to, you know, tune out from this.
Yes.
And they can just go at it and they don't really care what anyone thinks. And that's the best thing to do, is that you've got to always remind yourself that who cares what anybody thinks? That's their business. It's none of your business whatsoever what anyone else thinks.
What I'm fascinated by, again, and this is something that you and I have discussed endlessly in the past, and like, I tend to find that the people that are most reluctant to put out content or share their skill is the people that are most skilled.
Yeah.
Like, there's barometers of measuring how good someone is in any given field. And like we've discussed so many times, let's just say web design. Like, you can tell if a website has been adeptly constructed, or you can tell whether someone's just gone onto Wix. But what I'm saying is, like, the people who went on to...
Good job Wix is sponsoring the show, by the way.
That ain't gonna happen now, which is a shame because I've got cash. But like, the people who are just dire seem to be the ones that have no filter and just share and just have no fear. Just we've noticed this before.
I think, and I think the thing to look at really there though is, firstly, is that what's the balance? Do you know, what's the balance compared to really highly skilled people to people that's not as skilled who just go at it reluctantly? Because I think that, like anything, it's like, do you know, you go looking for a new car, and let's say you wanting to go and buy a BMW X5 because you've not seen many on the road, and then all of a sudden you're seeing loads of BMW X5s on the road. Is it just the fact that you're looking for it, so you're seeing more of it? Do you know what I mean by that?
Nope.
So there's a lot of skilled people there, underexposing. There's a lot of people that's not as skilled, overexposing. But because you're looking for that, you see more of it.
But I'm not looking for shit people. I just seem to. Well, I don't know. And again, you know, I suppose everything's subjective. So for me to sit here and say, like, you know, some of my previous clients, all my clients, eventually become friends.
To ask yourself,
so when I'm having lunch with these people,
the question though is what determines whether they're shit or not. You might think they're shit.
No, but I agree. This is what I'm saying. It is all subjective. So it's no point me sitting here and saying, well, you know, some people who just when they sing, it just my heart just like sings. But so when I hear them saying to me, CK, I don't like to over create and share too much. I'm like,
just do it.
I'm like, look, people need to hear you. Like, they need to hear you, and they definitely don't need to hear this bull about you saying, I don't want to overshare. I'm like, at the minute you're very much not sharing. Like, I don't know how anybody's going to find you, and it's just.
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is again, it's just having. Have they even got a strategy? And have they got a strategy in place, or are they just going out there and hoping that somebody spots them and sees them? Maybe it's a gig, maybe it's somewhere else, maybe it's a referral for a friend. Are they just relying on that source, or is it that they're just a little bit uneducated? You know, they don't want to do it because they're scared, but the reason why they're scared is because they're uneducated. And it's like anything, you're only scared of something until you understand it, and then once you understand it and once you're aware of it, the fear can then be removed a lot easier. And I think that there's so much more. I mean, we couldn't wrap this up in 10 minutes. You know, this is quite deep in terms of how far back. This could be something as simple as them as a child growing up and getting to that, you know, 13, 14, 15, maybe 17 years old, trying to determine what they're going to do with their life. They want to be a musician. The parents or the friends are saying, don't be stupid, go and get a job, get a career, go to university, be graduated and, you know, start a career. So they feel silly. So this could be something that is attached to that, where, you know, all their life they've been told it's a pipe dream, it's not real, don't do this, you should get a real job, and then all of a sudden they're getting recognition for something that's actually what they've always wanted to do, but they feel a little bit uncomfortable sharing it because they've been told all their life they shouldn't have done this. You know, they should get a real job, and so it's deep. There's so much stuff that can do this. The kind of end to it all, the easiest thing to do is, firstly, stop worrying about what people will or won't say. Do you know, something we often joke about is that people don't think about you as much as you think they do. People don't think about you as much as you think they do. So, do you know, just go and do something. If it fulfills you and it makes you happy and it's what you want to go and do it. Do you know, give it all. Give it everything that you've got at just massive amounts of levels of activity. Just really go for it. Have a plan. Do you know, understand, do you know, a strategy. If you're going to do it, get a game plan. Do you know, you wouldn't build a house without a foundation and a plan. So, you know, put your stall out, understand what it is you're trying to achieve, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, reach for other people. Do you know, teamwork makes the dream work. Very cliche, a bit cheesy, but it works. You can't do this on your own. There's people out there what's done it before. Ask them for help, ask them for guidance, ask somebody else to give you some support. If you feel that people are going to talk about you, good, let them, because they're talking about you. That's a good thing. And if they do, brilliant. If they don't, brilliant. But don't worry about it. It's none of your business what somebody else is thinking. Just go and do what you want to do. If that fulfills you, great. And look for the instant feedback, because everything's got instant feedback. Everything's got instant feedback. If you start posting stuff and people like it, great, do more of that. If they don't, tweak it, test it, find what works, keep on doing that. And once you've got something that works, the danger is, right, as humans, we're wired very, very weird. So what we tend to do is that we'll go and do something and it's not quite working. So what we say to ourselves is that it's not working just yet, but it might, so I'm going to keep on doing it a little bit longer. It's not working, stop it. You know? And then what we do find is the thing that is working, and this could be something that's producing income, it could be something that's getting attention, it could be something that's opening more doors for you, but because it's only producing little results, we don't do any more of it. We just do the same amount of what we've already been doing because it's working. What we should do is stop the stuff that's not working, do more of the stuff that is working, and go deep on that area there. Just keep on doing more and more and more and more and more. And this is the thing that you should ask yourself, and it's something that one of my previous videos that I did, I think it was the very first video that I ever did with a management consultant guy called Andy Anselman, and he said what he does with a lot of companies is he asks them some questions, and the question is, the thing that you're doing right now, ask yourself, is it something that you should stop doing, or is it something that you should start doing, or if it's something that you're already doing, should I continue doing it? And I think this is something that's really, really good to use in everything that you do, not just music, but anything. You know, should you start it, should you stop it, or should you continue it?
I'm convinced. Andy, I'm sure, and I've had lunch with Andy once, and he gave me some gold and stuff about a public speaking thing I did once. No, it was a talk in college I was asked to go and do on self-pro.
Wait, the guy who ripped you to pieces for your dress sense.
Who ripped me to pieces for my dressing?
That's another story. We'll do that another.
Have you just made that up?
No. You told me you went to that boot camp training thing where they were teaching you about speaking or whatever it were, and obviously they got you on stage and they were telling you about fashion, and they're like, clearly CK's got no fashion sense.
I think it. No, mate, you've made that up.
No, it's not. It's true. It's true. That's as true as you locking yourself out of a recording studio, but that's another story as well.
Yeah. But that is also in another video, previous video. What was it? Let your ego get in the way. Check that one out. A story about when I used to work in radio and I locked myself out of a studio.
Indeed, it is. So my advice would be very, very clear. Firstly, identify what success looks like to yourself, because success to CK is going to be completely different to me. It's going to be different to you guys. Identify what success looks like to you. And then ask yourself, the things that you're doing, is it things that you really, or what you're trying to do rather, are there something that you really want? Is it something that you really desire, or is it just something that you like the sound of? Because there's a very, very big difference between the two. Get clear on that. Get a plan.
But sorry, just going back, because so the reason that's relevant is because if you know what in terms is it something you desire in your heart, or is it something you like the sound of? The reason you need to make that distinction is because one will determine whether you're going to continue through the shit. Because if it's just something you like the sound of, you're probably just going to you'll come across an obstacle and be like, I'm off. But if it's something you need, you feel your soul, you'll just navigate all that.
Absolutely, it's almost like burning the boat. Get to the island, burn the boat. That's it. You're there. It's got to work. There's no way out. I'm on it. I'm in it. I'm done it. The boat's gone. I'm here. It's got to work. It's the only option. I can never leave it. I've got to make it work. And so you've got to be completely clear on what it is that you want to do. Because if you're not clear on it and you've got no clarity over it, the amount of action that you'll take to achieve it will be very little as well. Whereas if it's clear and you've fully got a lot of focus behind it and it's well formed and it's timely and it's got all the stuff that needs to be there, then the action that you'll take towards it is massive, because it's determined and it's something that you believe in in all your heart. So get clear on that. Get a plan. Get an action plan. Get a map. Get something that you're going to use to take you towards this. And then just be relentless going towards it. Don't deviate. You can change the actual way that you attack it, but keep the plan the same. Adjust. Keep pushing towards what you want, but adjust it as much as you need to adjust it until you get onto the right path. And use them techniques that we've just been talking about. Just stop, start, continue. Stop doing things that's not working. Start doing things that is working.
I would strongly recommend you put in the description box a link to a video by Uncle Bob Proctor, when he talks about, like, if you're at A and you want to get to B, then too many people worry about they worry about the bit in between. You don't need to know.
You don't need to know.
You just need to know you want to get to B. Because what Johnny always says is, and please, I know a lot of people possibly switch off for this bit, but it's like synchronicity will take you to B, as long as you know what B is. So don't worry too much about the mechanics in between. You're going to put a link to that video, because first time I saw it, I thought, shit, that's exactly what I did in 100 musicians. I didn't know how I was going to get 100 photographs.
And you don't need to.
I don't fucking know, I've never done it.
The journey will take care of itself. You just need to have complete clarity and belief over what it is that you're going, and you need to know where you're going from. You can't leave where you are unless you know where you are, and you can't get to where you want to go unless you know where you want to go. So you've got to have that clarity. You don't need to worry about in between, because that will happen for you. And it'll be interesting, what you'll find along the way. You'll find, CK's made some amazing friends because of that journey. What's in between there. So that's definitely a thing to do.
Honestly, please, guys, I'm like, if we've hung out on a shoot or whatever and we kind of get on and you trust me, watch the video by Uncle. To be fair, like all of his videos, it's a bit long.
To be honest, I'm not quite sure what video he's talking about, but I'm sure he'll tell me after.
You know?
No, I know.
Well, we're going to put a link to it.
We'll put a link to it. Wrap it up. So just go for it. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's working and what's not working, because you'll find patterns, and that's all we have is patterns. And find the patterns that's working, do more of the patterns, so start to pay attention. Once you do that, don't look at what's the worst case scenario, look what's the best case scenario. We're wired in a quite negative way where we'll think, well, if I do this, that outcome might, and we always look for the worst case, but there's no scenario. Don't look at the worst case, look at what's the best case scenario, and then just go for it, and go for it, and go for it.
This is what we need to talk about in the following video, because when we had that road trip recently, you were talking to me about, like, Do you remember how I was like, oh my god, you just like explained so much to me about how the brain is not here to help you. The brain is here to find problems.
It's just to survive. And
The brain is here to find problems, and it's just constantly looking for problems.
And the older you get, the more problems it starts to look for, and it gets very, very, very good at finding them. Anyone with grandparents
becomes
or
an assassin.
older parents will know this.
Like, unbelievable.
But your parents were once fun, like you.